there was like this, thanks, Robin. I appreciate that, and welcome everybody. And the reason I developed this class is because I felt like everybody was keeping it a secret on how to develop your mediumship. And certainly when I was trying to develop, that's kind of what happened to me, and that people were charging so much money to get it done. And it does take a real commitment and a discipline to develop this over time, and where you get really comfortable with it. But it's things that it's your birthright to have this gift, and it's just about developing that and bringing that forth. And so I felt that's one of the reasons that I wrote the book, is because I felt like people were keeping it a secret, and I thought that was really unfair. And so we're going to go through some of the basics of mediumship, and then, whatever level you're at, this course is for you. And a couple people that I want to introduce, Jacqueline Turner. She is from the UK, and then she moved over to France. And so her and I took an advanced mediumship class together. And a lot of my students have that I've taught have heard me talk about the mediums, the UK mediums versus the US mediums, and they're very focused on evidence. And so, Jacqueline, I want to make this interactive. I want it to be comfortable and fun, even though that this is kind of a sacred thing that we're doing. It's very sacred, and it should be taken, seriously. I also want it to be fun, so you guys really get this information. And what makes me or this course a little bit different is that I want to find out what your dominant clair is, and we're going to work with that at first to make sure that you have a lot of success in the beginning. And then, as you work and develop, the other clairs will develop over time. And these are clairaudience, clairsentience, and this is the way that we see, feel, hear things. And so we're going to start with some of the basics and then build upon that. And so that's kind of the way that I want to approach this, so everybody can have some success. In the content and in the course, if you've looked out on the site, I'm just going to share my screen really quick on, hold on just a second here. Let me bring it up. And then I'm going to share my screen. And so here's some of the content, okay? And I put a welcome video out here. It was just something just really quickly to kind of welcome all of you. And then the content agenda, which I've changed just a little bit, but and I'm going to update this to make sure that we get through everything. But the agenda is pretty comprehensive. And so I want to take you through the overview today of what we're going to be doing, and then working with spirit and start to build this out as far as what we're going to be doing today. But just to let you know that everything is out here on the site to start working with it, including the Heartfelt Medium workbook, which you can print out if you'd like, or just have it there for reference. There's going to be some techniques and different exercises that we're going to be doing there, and then we're going to start from here at get confident with connecting with spirit, and then really going over the mechanics of the overview. We'll probably also get through the mediumship terminology today. And then also I wanted to point out there's a 12-minute guided meditation. To make the connection with spirit, it's really important to meditate and continually meditate. So this is only a 10-minute guided meditation, which will help you drop into your heart and start to expand out into the room and call your guides in. We're going to talk about all this. But if you have time, I would like, and if you haven't started a meditation practice, I really encourage you to do this. This is really going to help, because that's what's going to raise your vibration for you to connect with the spirit world. Okay. All right. So we'll just start from there. And then I'm going to bring this up. Hold on just a second. So are there any questions? Does anybody have any questions so far? We could take a moment and introduce ourselves, because this is an interactive group. So I'm going to stop sharing for just a minute. And I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to introduce themselves. And the reason is because as the group goes on, we are actually going to be building this energy between us all. And it's going to be really beautiful. And so I just wanted to take a minute for you guys to get to know each other. And I just want to point out, John is actually a working medium. He went through my course. He did other courses as well. I always encourage people to do other classes, but John, we worked very well together, and he's now a working medium. So I'm really proud of that. So John, I don't know if you have anything to say about the class and what you've been through.
Oh, just, there were things that I had to learn that I didn't, the other classes didn't teach me. And it's just been a kind of a work in progress. You continually build and work with it. It doesn't come all at once, or it didn't for me, come all at once. You don't get all the pieces put together. It takes time and effort at it to finally, start bringing it all together.
Yes. Exactly. And that, I think we've all found that way and everything. And then spirit teaches you along the way, right?
Oh yeah.
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 Boy, do they might put you in a situation where it's like, okay, how do I get out of this one? Yeah. Well, thank you, John. And then also Jacqueline, you're a medium over in the UK, and I was just so impressed with Jacqueline. Her and I took an advanced mediumship class together. And if you could share your experience. I know with me, I was amazed what she brought through that nobody else got. And I mean, it brought me to tears. And it's because, they really focus on the evidence over in the UK, and it's really a beautiful thing. So Jacqueline, would you like to, share a little bit about your experience and what you do? I know you also do groups as well, right?
Yeah, so hi everybody. Really nice to meet you and be in this group together. So I've been doing mediumship for I don't know, over 10 years or something. I can't remember, but I was born with the gift. But it sort of developed for me in my teens, and then much later in my 20s, and then really took off more kind of in my 30s and everything. And well, kind of what's interesting is I've noticed for myself, my mediumship has really changed all over those years. And it should do, because you are continuing to evolve. And a bit like what Rochelle said, like spirit teaches you things along the way. And as you get more comfortable, they kind of step it up a gear and you become uncomfortable again. And then you get comfortable with that. And then you get uncomfortable again. And I found for myself, I mean, it's such a beautiful thing to work with spirit. But it does take dedication and patience, and you can't expect anything to happen overnight. But you go on this journey, getting attacked by a fly, sorry. You're going on this journey, and I find, for me anyway, it was always kind of, like this, moving along. But you're progressing. You don't have levels every time, but you always have this kind of shift, and you kind of, for me personally, as I've developed my mediumship, I've developed within myself. And that means I developed in, I now like myself, I love myself, I treat myself better, I now have boundaries for myself. And because mediumship for me, and I can only speak from my experience, it's not just about speaking with spirit, it's about having a relationship with your own spirit, yourself. And when you start to grow and you start to have a relationship with your own spirit, yourself, you then go on a different or another level with communicating with spirit. And this is just what I found personally myself. And with mediumship, I've just found that, yeah, I've grown over the years. And I used to do a lot of mediumship in the UK. But since moving to France, it's not quite the same thing. So I do things online, I do classes online, and I do one-to-one development as well, which is a bit more kind of working on yourself for people who are mediums, because once they work on themselves, they can become a better medium for themselves. And something else you touched on, I just want to say before the group start taking off for 6 weeks, is you're right, Rochelle, how I also found that people like to keep secrets about things and mediumship and how it works, and they don't like to give you answers to things when you have lots of questions about it. It becomes very frustrating. And you know, over time I've learned to discover things for myself, and I've been, some of my teaching has been kind of about sharing more with the mediumship and trying to keep light secrets that your only competition is yourself. And I think what has to, really, I would say, when you're doing mediumship is, don't let anyone stop you. Don't let anyone give you opinion about yourself and your mediumship. Your mediumship is your own. Your mediumship is unique. There is no one to tell you what is wrong about the way, you know, there are certain do's and don'ts, of course, but I mean, away from that, your mediumship is unique. And don't let anyone discourage you. Don't let and block out any negative and any no's. And if you want to proceed with this, you go for it. And as long as you're being kind to spirit, you're honoring spirit, and you're honoring yourself, yeah, that's what the biggest thing I would say. So as you go into this 6-week journey, just remember yourself. Your only competition is yourself. It's nobody else, because we're all different. It doesn't matter what level somebody's on. That's just because somebody's been doing it a long time and learned things along the way, but other people will too. And it's not a race, you know, it's a personal journey. And if you remember that, it's a personal journey. You're challenging yourself the whole way, every time. And when you do get these kind of dips that happen in mediumship, you go, you know what? Okay, well, I learned that, didn't know that before. Okay, well, how am I going to use that next time that comes up? Or what would I like to do better next time? And then you move on and just let yourself grow. And that's kind of all I'd like to say about that. Gonna be quiet now.
Oh my God, that's so perfect. I couldn't have said it any better, Jacqueline. Thank you for that. And that's so true. You know, what we find in mediumship is that there's a lot of egos, okay? And people just think that they're better than anybody else, and there's all kinds of competition. When you think about universal and spiritual law, and you believe in the law of abundance, how can there be competition? You know, people are going to be drawn to you for your life experiences, what you can bring to them. And the more mediums we have, the better. And the secrets is it's nonsense is what it is. And so that's what I want to say. And that's why I opened up. I want to open up everything. And based on my experience, I certainly want to share everything. And I want to cater to you too, how your gifts, what are your gifts? How do your gifts come out? What, you know, and so that's why we want to look and see and then build upon that, because everybody has a gift. And so like Jacqueline said, don't allow anybody, it is a personal journey, and we have to continually to grow and self-develop. And as we do, we become better at mediumship. When we release things from our lives that are maybe past hurts and traumas, when we release that, we make more room for our gifts to come in. And so that's why it's such a personal journey, and it's something so beautiful. And when you realize how much spirit loves us and respects us, and that adds to our own ability for self-love, it's really amazing. So I just want to share that with you. And it's okay, whatever your purpose is, I just want you to think about that, what your purpose is. And if it's just to use it for your personal development, or use it in your work in any way, or to be of service, whatever level you want to do that, you're welcome. We want to help you and support you in that. And so with that, if we could quickly go around the room and introduce ourselves. Joe, why don't you start? I know that you looked at the curriculum. If you could share.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure. All right. Hi, my name is Joe. I live in Hawaii, transplanted from New York. 10 years ago, I didn't believe in any of this stuff. It was total, I just didn't believe in it. So I accidentally got involved with my ex-wife was supposed to go see this medium. She was at the yoga studio. She canceled, and I went to tell her that she was canceling. She goes, well, why don't you just take her spot? And I did. And it was just an amazing experience from there. Then I did lots of stuff with that person, past life regressions and so on. And I'm just fascinated by it. And I was just joined the Hawaiian Ions group. And then I was at the conference, the SAI conference, and I just fascinating information. Mark Anthony was really, he's that psychic lawyer. Psychic lawyer, right? Yeah. So I bought his book. I just started reading it. It's just amazing. And I had my first little experience last night. I've never really contacted spirits, other than my spirit guides. And then last night, in between some kind of dream or sleepy thing, these two faces of actually whole body, and they just looked so lost. And I was saying hi, and then all of a sudden I realized I have no idea what to do to help them. They looked like they needed some kind of help, and I just panicked and they disappeared. And so I'm glad I'm here. And thanks for having me.
Thanks, Joe. And we can talk about that too.
Yeah, I figured, yeah.
And we'll build upon that. So that's good. Thank you for that. And we'll talk about that. And Tom,
Sure.
If you could share, that would be great. And introduce yourself, that would be wonderful.
Okay, my name is Tom Bender, and I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, but moved here from Alaska. And I'm a physician. I'm retired, but being a medical doctor, I was sort of led to be interested in near-death experiences, the resuscitations. And even when Raymond Moody's book first came out, I, of course, studied that, and I've read many other books. That sort of led me to Robert Monroe and the out-of-body experiences, which it's been difficult to achieve. But in 1999, when I was in Anchorage, I was told by somebody, oh, I just had a most wonderful reading by this woman who grew up Mennonite. And because I have a Mennonite background, Rochelle and I both had fathers born in the Mennonite family and raised in Mennonite family. So I went to have my first reading with Anne. And
wonderful.
Of course, that was in the 90s, and I loved it. So I had a second reading with her later on in her home. And then my sister and her partner took an entire course with Anne in her home. So I discovered Rochelle here in South Carolina, and that kind of thing that background led me to participate in this course. And since I'm 83 years old, I'm sort of interested in what's to come. So I want to think about that too.
Oh my gosh, Tom, thank you so much for sharing that. And Anne Gaiman is my aunt. She's world renowned, famous psychic medium, she was a spiritualist minister, and we do have a Mennonite background, just to fill everybody in. And one of the challenges that I had is, can I ever live up to my aunt doing this mediumship, you know? But you know, our gifts are very similar yet very different. And so it's just really interesting. And I'm just so proud of her for the work that she has done for the spiritualist community and how she dedicated her life to that. So thank you. She's still here. She's just in a assisted living and retired. So so just to let you know that. Thank you for that. So Anita, could you share a little bit about yourself really quick?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Anita Ramirez. I'm a full-time high school teacher on summer break now. I grew up in Los Angeles, but I've been living here on Long Island for 28 years. And this spiritual path was not something that I chose. It chose me. I lost my 25-year-old son in 2020. He had a brain aneurysm and passed away in his bed. He was living with his fiance in Houston, Texas, and I got a phone call. And then I'm sure we all remember in April 2020, we were 1 month into the lockdown, so there were no funerals. I couldn't travel. I got his ashes in the mail 2 weeks later. And that became a catalyst. You know, his loss became a catalyst for my own spiritual awakening, because I dove headfirst, you know, out of curiosity and just this deep, deep yearning to connect with him in the afterlife, and watched that series on Netflix, Surviving. I'd never heard of 90% of that stuff. And it has sent me on this path, and I have just been learning as much as I possibly can. And so here I am. So I'm really excited to be here and learn even more.
Thank you, Anita, for sharing that. It was good to meet you yesterday too, so thank you. Robin, would you please introduce yourself? That would be great.
I had to turn my light off. It was just too bright. So I'm Robin Nicole, and I'm originally from upstate New York, but I've been living in Ireland for 20 years. And I am, I guess, what am I, Rochelle?
You're the Shine Your Light Network, lady.
I'm the lady that I run this during the lockdown during 2020. I started this YouTube channel called the Shine Your Light Network, where I promote, and I started promoting people who are shining their light out to the world, because I believe that whenever people go into their heart and they find out what makes their heart sing, and they actually do what it is that makes their heart sing, they're kind of like putting their little piece of the puzzle out to the puzzle board of life. And I like to promote people that are out there doing it, and they don't have to be doing anything special other than just shining their light as bright as they possibly can. And so I started doing a lot of interviews with people who are doing this, and we talk about the adversity of like how like things that happen along the path that try to stop you from doing what makes your heart sing, and basically how you basically pick yourself back up and you dust yourself off and you just keep going. And that all started back in 2020, but originally I'm a sculptor. I work with clay. I'm a ceramic intuitive artist. And then during this whole kind of lockdown kind of thing, I started going within a little bit more and using my intuition, I guess. And I started doing these video blogs on the Shine Your Light Network, where I was going down to the forest here in Ireland during the lockdown, just for like the people, just to kind of give them some like outdoor energy or whatever. And I started channeling these inner earth beings that were in the forest over here, because I'm like really close to like a portal. And it just kind of started going from there, and little by little I've been writing a book and teaching classes on all kinds of new like technology and stuff, and I became a certified hypnotist so that I can do past life regression, and I've been doing that now for a few months now.
Thank you, Robin. We're so happy that you're here.
And I'm excited to do this because back in 2020, my parents passed away, and Rochelle, she did a reading for me, and my father came through, and he told Rochelle that if I just like if I could like listen, I'd be able to connect to him. And I'm really good at connecting to like beings from other places, but I'm having a hard time connecting to my family members and my loved ones. And so I'm hoping that through this class, I'll be able to develop that a little bit more so that I can connect and talk with my loved ones.
Thank you, Robin. That's so special. Appreciate it. And Jason, would you please share? That would be great.
Sure. My name is Jason Janis. Right outside Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a little west. Michelle and I met. I had an NDE in April of 2020. I drowned in my own blood from COVID. They had caused tumors in my lungs, and I basically suffocated to death in the ICU. Had a wonderful, beautiful NDE, being with God, Jesus, seeing all the souls, everything that home is about, love. I experienced the most unconditional love. It was beautiful, something that I'll never find. Rochelle reached out to me and wanted to know if I'd like to be a part of this. And of course, being an empath now after my NDE, I have become an empath. I haven't really been able to control it as much. I can feel you all, I can't see you, but I can feel you. And it's wanted to learn more. So that's why I'm here. So thank you for inviting me.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you. Yeah, thank you, Jason. And then Sean, could you introduce yourself as well? I know it's early there. Thank you for joining.
Nice to be here. Yeah, so in about fall of 2015, my mother passed and started coming to me right away. And from then on, more people started coming. But then I had a profound NDE and was in the ICU in the hospital for about 3 or 4 months. And from then on, my mother and many others were with me and guided me and got me out of the ICU and got me out of the hospital. And then other people's started with other people's mothers and so forth coming to me. And so for friends, I would just connect with them. So then I met Rochelle, and my niece came right through to her right away, and then we became instant friends. And I wanted to take this course because I feel like I have no training. I just started happening, and I feel like a kid riding a bike without training wheels or something, and I'm gonna hit a wall or something. So I would like some tools. So I'm glad to be here.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. And certainly we're going to put everything together. You guys are going to be amazed how all this is going to come together for you. And Christy, could you introduce yourself? That'd be great.
All right. Yeah. Hey, so live in Florida. I mentioned that to some of you, and I'm a nurse. I actually spent most of my nursing career, actually all of my nursing career, as a cardiac nurse. I worked in cardiac ICU, and I currently work in a invasive procedure area. I do ablations, pacemakers, the whole thing. My husband's a nurse also. And spiritually, I, grew up pretty, in a pretty close-minded community of people, Seventh-day Adventist, if anybody knows what that is. And so I know that I have been pulled into this journey. I can see now, looking back through my life, how I've been kind of led to this, but it really picked up gears, I would say, within the last maybe year and a half, how beautifully and serendipitously It's all just kind of happening. And I discovered Suzanne Giesman. I studied, some of her courses online over the years, or over this last year. But I still consider myself a beginner because I'm, not, I think I'm just now getting out of my own way, able to kind of realize what's ego, what isn't, and kind of drop that. And now it's kind of starting to come together, but I still need tools. And I know that having different teachers is so very important. And I had the pleasure of meeting Rochelle in person here in Florida. Oh my gosh, that was so awesome.
Wasn't that awesome? Woo.
I know, getting to connect with you there and now again. And then, just from the nursing standpoint, I'm hearing some of you talk about near-death experiences. And, when you're a nurse, just like, Tom, a physician, you run into that when you're in the medical field, people that will report these things, and my husband had that experience with somebody as well who identified exactly what was going on in the room while he was coding and basically dead. And there was no way he could have known, and so these people aren't making that up. And so you start piecing this puzzle together. And, if you start listening, you kind of, I don't know, for me, I just couldn't help but find myself here. So anyways, that's it. I'm just, I'm still considering myself a beginner, and I'm excited to get to know all of you and learn.
Thank you for that, Christine. I got to share that story. So she went to see Susan Giesman in person, right? And as she was there, she sat down and she said, Spirit, please bring me an angel. Please bring me an angel. I want to meet an angel. And isn't that what you said?
Well, it was actually, you're close. So I was just starting. And I realized that, okay, you have to, we asked for signs. Okay. And I've never done that before. And so I said, okay, send me an angel. Well, a week went by and I was getting a little disappointed, and kind of, okay, well, sort of gave up on it. Well, I went into one of her it was this event in, down here in Florida. And I was sitting in the front row because I was so excited. And I had an empty chair beside me. And this little lady, she was looking for a place to sit. And, I'm like, okay, cool. Come sit by me. Come sit here. I could tell she wanted to be up front too. And I patted the seat. And I said, I'm Christy. And she goes, I'm Jenny Angel.
See how Spirit has
And
a wonderful sense of humor.
I looked at her because it took me, because my mind wasn't there. I'd forgotten about my sign. But it suddenly started to hit me, and she said it again. Who says their last name with their first name when they introduce themselves?
Yeah, right?
Who does that?
Yeah, that's so funny.
And to this day, I get waves of goosebumps, and we're friends to this day.
Yeah, Jenny is a wonderful woman. She's a medium. Yeah, that's so cool. Thank you.
But yeah,
yeah,
you're welcome.
All right, Kathy, would you quickly introduce yourself?
Let me get unmuted. Hi, I'm Kathy. I love what I've been hearing lately, and I'm in my mind, I'm like, okay, where do I start? Where do I start? And it's like crazy stuff. I feel like this journey has finally opened up to me big time. I know that as a child, I was experiencing spirits. And of course, when you're a child, it's like a nightmare, right? You're just, it's your imagination and all that. So I pushed that aside and went on with my life. And just kind of in a nutshell, there was an experience. I don't know if I can talk about it. So, but I did have an experience with spirit, a very strong experience when my husband went into cardiac arrest. And that really kind of opened the doors again for me. Although it took some time, going back, 4.5 years later, I did search. Somebody sent me a book by somebody else, and I'm not going to mention her name right now, but I found it very interesting, and I really wanted to be able to connect with spirits. So I reached out to her, and she helped me. I guess I could use the word help, but I felt that she took advantage of me in my vulnerability. And I also connected then with Suzanne Giesman and took several of her classes. And through Suzanne Giesman's class, indirectly, that's how I connected with Rochelle, through somebody else who told me about Rochelle. So, this great big web that we're in, and we got together, and I've had some wonderful readings, and I kept thinking, I want to do that. I want to be able to help people like they are helping me. So I've taken classes from other people too. I feel this is my path, and this is what I want to do. So I'm here.
Thank you, Kathy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And I made a big move from Texas back to Minnesota. So during that time, I wouldn't say I was out of touch with all of this, but I'm really getting back into it, and things have just been happening, and I love it.
That's wonderful. That's so wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And John, could you quickly introduce yourself? I know you, I kind of went over it, you before, but if you could just quickly share.
Okay, my name's John, I'm from Michigan. It kind of started out strange for me. I have a little bit of natural, ability that came, but I had no control over it whatsoever. So then I went seeking for answers to help with that because it didn't feel right that spirit could come. I gave a message from spirit to somebody and realized it was like a reading, but I had zero control over it. And to me, that it didn't feel right. So I went seeking answers. I took an online course, and then, I met some other people, our friends. We met in a group, and meditation group. And well, that's kind of funny too, because Rochelle was bringing it through my mother, and I gave Rochelle nothing because I had a medium before. It was just none of it was right. It was just all baloney. And so I was super skeptical. And I just gave Rochelle nothing. And she brought evidence that it was my mother through. But I didn't make it easy on her whatsoever. She might not even remember, but I do, because it was just that I was just that way. I'm like, nah, this is all fake. I'm gonna make her work for it. And she did. But then as we I learned to meditate, and then I took some classes with her because as I learned more, it opened more things up, and I had to learn even more. It's kind of like the other person was saying, the spirit keeps guiding you to different paths. I also found out I'm a healer. So
Great healer, by
the readings are healing, but I can also I can do hands-on healing. And some people it's quite profound, others it's not. I've had people not be able to get out of a chair afterwards. But that's all spirit, and it's humbling when you watch spirit work like that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, John, thank you for that. And that's amazing how that has just, evolved into that, and how strong it is. So thank you for that. Silk, will you introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. My name is Silka Clark. And gosh, oh my goodness, the spirit world. The spirit world got my attention also as a child, and I can relate to Cassie's story there a little bit. But when I was a kid, I didn't have the verbiage, and the understanding, and I thought I was talking to the angels. So, but long story short, the spirit world got my attention in 2010. And then in 2015, I finally done something about it. And I sat in my first spiritualist society circle, and it really had taken off from there. And I was floored. So everybody said, oh, maybe it was just a conditioning where you were sitting in. And I said, okay, I can take that. Why not? but it also happened later on in different environments. So they showed me just so much, or gave me, really through me, the ability to give evidence that there's life after life, right? So then I've taken courses online, committed to one person for 3 years, and it's from the Arthur Findlay College. That's all online. And I had previously trained with somebody else prior to that. But I have to tell you, this last month and a half, I kind of noticed that with all the training, which has been tremendously helpful, but I started losing myself a little bit of who I am in all of this, working with the spirit world. And I've noticed I had burnout from all this online training, and it was taking me too far away of what the real meaning behind this is for Silka. So I've taken a step back from that a little bit, and I thought I'd join you here today and see what you teach and meet some new people, and perhaps just, find a little bit more with my own self. I've been sitting in meditation since 2008 and really stepped up with that. It's 2010. And then these last 2 years, now will be 2 years, I've been sitting in the power to getting to know my own soul even more so, because I really want to get to know Silka more. And let the spirit world just guide me and see where they want to take me, because I've been told that only your own soul can shut off the mediumship. The spirit world will never retrieve themselves from you or walk away. So this is a personal decision, and my decision is firm on this. I have gotten evidence from the spirit world that our soul survives after our physical body dies. And I'm just going to let this keep unfolding and just stay calm and collective. And I'm here today, and it's really nice meeting everybody. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. So grateful that you were here, Silka. Thank you.
Thank
Vanessa,
you.
can you introduce yourself?
Hello.
Hi, Vanessa.
I am from just outside of Milwaukee, Oregon. And I have been the vessel for 20 different kinds of connection with spirit, and I just want to be more tuned in and be of service, and that's why I'm here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Vanessa. So great. We're so grateful that you're here. And is it Karen Michelle? Is that how? Okay. Would you introduce yourself as well, please?
Thank you. Hi, my name's Karen Michelle, and I'm not sure where to start. I've had multiple NDEs. I came into the world with an NDE, and so I feel like I don't have a before reference, and so I didn't really have a sensor growing up as far as when I would see other beings, it would come out of my mouth. I would just say so, and it wasn't well received. It was by my grandfather, but I was taught that that's not normal. And so as a child, it was normal, but as I got older, I was told it was not normal, and then sent to the therapist. And so I learned to just be quiet. And even with being quiet and therapy, and by the way, I'm a doctor of psychology. And so I've been doing therapy for 18 years, but I still see the beings. I just learned not to talk about it. And then I had another NDE back in 2001, and I continued to flatline. Every time I came back, my heart stopped, and I didn't want to come back. It was so beautiful over there. I think the only reason I came back is because of how close I was with my mom. Something in me was afraid of leaving my mom, but also I was sent back. And I'm wanting to deepen my connection to spirit. And I think that there's still part of me that has whatever it was, that judgment that's saying, you know what, you can't do this. That's not right. You need to be this way in this world. And then when I go home and I cross over, then I can talk to spirit. Then I can, otherwise here you can pray, but you're not supposed to have an open communication. And things haven't worked out with me career-wise. With psychology, I mean, the clients seem to really attach to me, but I don't feel right in that. And so I went back to the most profound thing that happened to me in the NDE is the visits I had would always say, if you want to talk to me through this. And it was a harp. And so as I got older, I got a harp and I started playing. I also started speaking through the soundboard, and I would speak chants, prayers through the harp. And so I've got one behind me, I've got another in the other room. And what I started doing is harp therapy. And now I teach resonant kinesiology to other harpists who play for hospice care. And I started doing that after my mother passed away during the pandemic. I lost my father back in 2009. I've lost several friends. I feel like I have more people over there than here. And I don't know. I want more open communication. And I really feel like I'm in between paths and there's a fork in the road. And so I need to I just want to get to know myself better and answers, I guess, to why things. But
Oh,
yeah.
Karen, thank you for sharing that. That's wonderful. And you know, what I hope to do is really connect the dots for everyone. This is really great that you guys shared all of this, and I'm going to give you all that I have. And so with that, what I want to kind of preface everything and let you know that I'm going to appeal to the mechanics of mediumship a little bit. You know how like we drive a car, and like if you read how to drive a car, this is how you do it. But then you get in the car and then you start driving it, right? And so I want to give you all of that so you understand it. Once you understand it, then you can start to incorporate all of that. And what I have prepared today is a little PowerPoint presentation and some of the exercises and everything that we're going to do. I want to make this interactive. I want you guys to feel free to, you know, kind of raise your hand. And Robin, if you could make sure that as I'm going through this, that I have that, you know, if somebody has a question, that we get it addressed. So this is the course of developing your mediumship naturally. And in the course itself, I just wanted to let you know, this is what I want everybody to get out of this course. I want you to have a thorough understanding of mediumship and really getting confident with building your connection with spirit and working with spirit. I'm going to go back a little bit and teach you about the history of spiritualism, because spiritualism is a religion that actually has embraced mediumship. They believe in life after death, or that there's no death. And for me, when I hear people calling you know, spirit dead people, that just kind of really, it's like nails on a chalkboard for me, because I don't believe that they're dead, that you're either in the body or out of the body. So when they say that, it's just, you know, oh, it just breaks my heart. So I just want to give you a point of reference with that, and we'll talk about that, but it's not certainly, this is a religion. Mediumship is something that if you're called and led to do it, you know, you can certainly do it outside of spiritualism. But I want to make you aware of it so you understand some of the things about spiritualism as well, because there are terminology that you might run across that the spiritualists use. So just wanted to say that. And then I want to help you meet and strengthen your relationship with your guides. This is really key. They are the key. Your spirit team is the key to help you develop all of this. And we want you to stay in the love vibration. We never want you to go to fear in any way. And how we do this, it's like, you know, we might have things happen and all of a sudden we want to go to fear, right? But what we do is we work with our guides to set up boundaries with spirit. You have complete dominion over all of this. You know, things can happen and you feel kind of out of control. And so we're going to work on different examples of setting up boundaries so you feel comfortable in working. Okay. And one of the things, and then also having an agreement with your guide as well. What those agreements are is, like, for example, that are the same. Like, one of the boundaries that I set up when I first started was, I don't want to be bothered from 10:30 at night until 6 in the morning. That's my time. And they come through at that point because you are so relaxed and they're ready to, and the veil's a little bit thin, and so they want to come through. But you get to choose when you work, and you set that up with your guide team. And so those are the type of things that you want to set up. Also, the agreements are like, some people don't want to be touched by spirit, for example. And so your team will protect you and will know how you want to work. And so they'll adhere to that. This is the land of free will, but they are bound by universal and spiritual law. So you have complete dominion over this. So I just want to let you know that and give you the confidence in that area. I want you to learn to be able to give powerful, accurate messages with powerful evidence. We're also going to learn about energy, frequency, and vibration. And the reason this is so crucial is that, there's a lot of empaths out there and the sensitivity is rising, but a lot of people don't know how to control their own energy, or they're taking on other people's energy and don't even realize it. And so I want to talk a little bit about that and learning your essence and working with your energy signature. There are working mediums that really don't understand this as well. And I want to give you that tool just so you feel comfortable and confident with that. And then I want to share with you aspects of building a strong spiritual practice, and then also learning ethics around mediumship. There's a lot of charlatans out there. But really bringing in the ethics of the do's and the don'ts, and also even the way that you deliver a message is very important. We never want to take away people's free will by saying you should do this or you should do that. That's a medium's opinion. We want to always make sure that we deliver it where we empower the people to make decisions in their life. And then also discernment. That's another thing that I feel that a lot of mediums might, this is something within your own life. Just because someone's coming to you for a reading doesn't mean that you have to give it. Have a discernment around the people that you serve as well. And then the other thing that I want, I hope that you learn is how to release unwanted energy, and then also closing the door to spirit. We can't stay open the whole time. We have to have our own time as well, but also releasing, grounding, and clearing that energy and how important that is, and releasing that electromagnetic charge from our body into the earth, into Mother Earth for healing. And so these are some of the things that I want you to learn. Okay. Any questions about that? Just curious. Robin, anybody? Okay. All right. So
I do have a quick question.
Yeah.
So, when I do a reading, a mediumship reading, I kind of always felt like it was an understanding between me and the spirit world when I said, thank you very much for coming today. And I thanked the communicator and then my sitter for sharing the phone with me. So I felt like that was enough of me to make that disconnect and say thank you, and now I'm moving on, right? Is that enough to disconnect and make that release of energy, or is there something else that you can recommend for me?
Well, okay, so we'll get into that, Silka. One of the things that I do is just once I thank them, I also, because the fact that, and we'll get into this a little bit today, a lot of times with a medium, you're making a mediumship link and you're also making a psychic link. And so you can also absorb some energy. And so it's really about releasing that energy. And however, you can quickly release it, by maybe just even drinking water or just releasing it and calling back your energy. Or you can, and it can be as simple as that. It's with the intention of that. But when I do multiple reads, or if I'm on platform, or if I'm doing gallery reads, or if I'm doing a reading party, I'm absorbing a lot of energy in the room, okay? Because I'm going from one person to the next, to the next, to the next. And then you have all these people from the spirit world coming in. And so it's really about, releasing that. And you can absorb, especially if you're working and you're doing multiple readings. You really need to release all of that and call back your own energy. And so you're more grounded and it's released.
Okay.
So it's really about the intention. So if you're just doing one reading, it can be as simple as that. Yes. And you can release it with a breath, making sure just breathe, because if you don't release it, you can go to bed and then the next morning you wake up and you feel like you're hungover. And
Right.
yeah,
That's why I'm just asking you too. I am a massage therapist and a Reiki healer. So I do ground myself and I do a shielding, and this is for my personal reasons to kind of not absorb everybody's energy that comes to my business, but also online when I do readings or in person. But I've kind of noticed that with my burnout that I hit last month, there was a little bit more to that.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself, this makes sense all of a sudden that I hadn't thought about it. But now that you bring this up, that makes a whole lot of sense. Thank you.
Yes, you have to release it with the breath, get your feet. I mean, I go out and in barefoot and I will go out on the ground and
grass.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that. I'll get more into that so you can see, and we'll connect the dots for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's see. Karen, Michelle, did you have a question?
Yeah, I didn't know that you could arrange hours. And so I think that I've just been leaving it open, and it's kind of crazy making. And I just wanted to put that out there because I have stuff that goes on round the clock, and part of it is because I want to hear from, there's a couple people I really want to hear from so badly, but I didn't realize I was leaving this wide open space. And then it sometimes it's a little frightening to somebody who comes over, where I'm not sure, should I acknowledge that or pretend like I didn't see it and they did. And then I don't know how to tell the difference between what I came back with as what in ND is what they refer to as gifts, which took a long time to refer as a gift, and what's a sign that I'm being communicated with.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how to differentiate between the two.
Okay. Well, you can set up something like Lisa Williams, who is a very prominent psychic medium. One of the things that she does, and this is just something that you can do that you feel comfortable with, she'll like take off her ring, okay? Take off her ring, and then that tells spirit that she's opened up. So you don't have to leave it open all the time because it comes down to self-care. Okay. And so we have to, we do have to take time. You have to take time for Karen Michelle, and not leaving it wide open all the time. So just think about that. It doesn't mean that they're not around, but it's about, keeping you can allow it if you want, but it can be exhausting because remember, we'll get into this a little bit, they're at a higher frequency. And so it's about operating in that higher frequency all the time. And then you said, what sign is being communicated? We're going to get into that as well. So you start to understand the way spirit language works and how it works for you. And you can set that up as well.
And it's also, I guess on top of that, learning how to tell the difference between when they're sending a sign or if it's something that I'm sending out from an NDE gift.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Usually what happens with spirit, and we'll talk about this, it usually gets dropped in, meaning like you might not be thinking about anything. And all of a sudden you have this thought that comes in very fast. It comes in really fast because they're at a higher frequency. And I'm going to get into that in just a minute. And so it's more about that, where you're just allowing, your mind is kind of at neutral and then it comes in. That's usually spirit, and it comes in very fast. So we have to train our mind to grab onto it. I don't know if anybody else, like Jacqueline or John, if you have any comments about that.
A bit like what you say, to be honest. It's kind of a thought. It's exactly that. It's a thought that drops in, and the best way is to not second guess it, because you could be doing something, you could even be doing the washing up, anything, and a thought just drops in. It's when you second guess it, you've got your doubt.
Yeah.
So, and just something else I wanted to say actually as well, and I'll leave this open, and Rachel, you can always address this as the weeks go on, but there is a complete difference with boundaries. When you're working with spirit as a working medium, it is really important you have your boundary and you have your working hours, etc. There's also that kind of, though, if you want to connect, say you want to connect with your spirit guides at home, again, it's always good to have a regular time or a regular meeting date to do that as well. But if you are just yourself at home and you're asking, like I do, I say, oh, Granddad, it's really difficult today, and I just want to feel a hug from you. I just want something. And I put that out there and I let it go, and then something will come later that day or something like that. That's also okay as well, because I'm not really working. I'm not using much energy. I'm speaking to my loved one and I'm just saying, oh, I just need this. I need some help. And then I forget it. And then they come in, and that's not me working or anything. And I am closed in the sense as when I always run the classes, I always close it off saying, you're now no longer the working medium. That's it, you're done. But you can still always receive messages from your loved ones.
Yes.
When you ask and you need. And
Yes.
there is a clear difference. Because, and just remember as well, guys, like if you're working all day, a lot of you are working, you're working all day and you're talking all day or whatever, you don't want that going on all day or all night, because you're so drained and it's like Rochelle, you said earlier, it's like you can feel drunk or something. You have to have respite. Even when you're working a full day, you go home to your family, there are still times you're like, do you know what, I'm just going to take a bath, or I'm going to go to the garden, I'm going to do something because I need 5 minutes, half an hour if you're lucky, just because you need time to depress from yourself. Some of you who are mothers and stuff, you might even hide in the toilet, just need 5 minutes just before anything goes, it's that type of thing. So just keep that in mind, the differences. So when you're working medium, it's so important to close down and to have that off time. But nothing's stopping you personally if you just want to throw something else, oh, mom, or something, oh, in my case, or granddad, this is really, and I just really need help. I'm really upset, and I could really just do with feeling your love tonight. And I might be crying sometimes because, something's happened. But then I just let it go. And then something will come back, and all of a sudden it will be that thought that drops in, or that feeling I get. And it's that quick, it's that instant. And just you'll learn not to second guess it, and then it will just feel natural. And then you're going to learn to trust your instinct. And that's the other bit of advice I can only say from my experiences: learn to trust yourself. If you trust yourself, you will trust spirit. It's not I'll trust spirit, then I trust myself. Trust yourself, and then you'll trust spirit. Because the two are together, your spirit and spirit. So, so, and it's wonderful when you get that and you have that, oh yeah, okay, thanks for that. And somebody was talking about, it was, where's the screen? It was a really good example, actually. Christy, is that how I say your name? Christy Snell? Is that how I say it? Yeah. A really good experience, because a lot of people as well, they ask spirit for signs, and then they ask and ask and ask and ask, you know what? And they're not paying attention to the sign.
Right.
Don't waste spirit time asking, and you're not prepared to receive the answer or look out for the answer. But this is spirit again. You go, no, I want an angel, show me an angel. But it's very difficult to show somebody a physical angel. So they come in with their humor, and here you go, and that's what you got.
Right.
And you have to trust in that. And the more you trust in that, it's okay to go, it's okay to be like, oh, okay, I'm not sure, maybe you, but okay, no, I'm going to be an open mind. But if you start to trust in that, more and more and more and more will come. And some of you have got some incredible stories and some incredible life experiences and got way more knowledge and history than even I have on my for myself. But one thing I was taught, the more you know about things, the more spirit can work with you with those things. And you'll find that different people are drawn to you for your readings because you've had a certain experience, or you've got the knowledge of something, or you can describe something that damn good. And that's what you'll find. Like, I have a lot of people that come to me with similar situations through my situation, whereas a lot of you that have had the experience of passing over to the spirit world and coming back, you may find you're drawn to other people. People are drawn to you to come to you for readings because you've had that experience, and you can have the empathy for that. So there you go. So that's something else. Just think about these things as you're going through the course. And I actually didn't say the reason I'm doing this course is, my personal belief is, doesn't matter how much of a medium, how long I've been doing mediumship for, or where my skills are, I thought it would be really good to come back to basics and perhaps retouch on things, or perhaps where the basics weren't very good that I was taught, some things weren't. I thought it would be really nice to come back to the beginning again and take a different view. And there's other people, and people are going to have amazing life stories, and some of you really have, you know, some experiences I haven't had, but that will be really good for my development as well. So yeah, that's also, I forgot to say, that's why I'm here, because I kind of want to learn off you guys as well, because you guys are going to have something incredible or some experiences, and your gifts are going to be so different. Like, well, you know, I'd like to be able to work on that as well, because that's my weakness. Okay, great. So there we go.
Yeah. Oh, Jacqueline, thank you for saying that. Thank you so much. And that's right. That's why we need more mediums, because they are drawn to us by our life experience. There are people that are not going to be drawn to me that will be drawn to others because of that. They just instinctively know of their life experience, and that's the person that they need to go to. Yeah. So the more mediums, the better. Hey, Sean, you had your hand up as well.
Yeah. Karen Michelle pretty much said exactly what I was thinking. I mean, already I feel like this is a huge answer for me. I've never closed the door in my whole life. That's probably why I'm get so exhausted. Like I was telling, you know, and I run out of energy because I've never had. I didn't even know that there was a way to close the door.
Oh my God, bless your heart. Well, yeah, well, it's something maybe that I need to move that up in
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Can you, for some of us, for me, for my spiritual emergency, I need tools for that, number one.
Yeah, okay. All right. Gosh, let's see. I don't even know if I put that in this particular thing here. Grounding and clearing is going to be really important. So I think, Sean, that I did put it out in the curriculum. So if you want to go to, if somebody could look, maybe, let me see, I might have it up, right? Hold on just a second. But it is about releasing that energy and closing that door. I mean, that's so important because and it's about releasing that energy. That doesn't mean that they're not around and you can't feel them, but it shouldn't take, when you're constantly up. Well, let's get into the frequency and vibration, but let me just see if it's out here. I'm sure it is. That might be helpful to you. It's about grounding and clearing and releasing that energy. Okay. Here, let me share my screen again.
Well, today you have setting boundaries.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. Well, let's see here. Matching your energy components. Yeah, I'll send that to everybody so everybody has it, okay? And then we'll just continue with the PowerPoint because I think some of this stuff will be explained. Am I sharing again? Sorry. Share screen. I'll tell you, I'm gonna become a wizard at this by the time I'm done. Here, share. Am I sharing my screen?
No.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, so okay, so these are the things we haven't gotten to this. We haven't gotten very far, but I'm trying to get to this. So, okay, so really think about the purpose of why you're becoming a medium, and then there's foundational elements of mediumship, which we'll talk about. The difference between an empath, an intuitive, psychic, and medium, and then working with the flow of energy, and then energy, frequency, and vibration. And this is where we start to blend, and this is where we can call our energy back. And talking about the ego versus the essence, the brain versus the mind, the left brain versus the heart. I really want to get into that. And then the spirit connection, and then working with your spirit team, setting boundaries, setting up agreements with your guides, and then creating a sacred space for your spiritual practice. We'll go through this. Now, creating a space for your spiritual practice, this could actually just be a chair that you have, that you can just, it's a place where you can just set something up where it feels good to you. It's the same, like Jacqueline said, you want to be there the same time every single day, to sit down and to meditate, and even after the meditation, you might want to journal, because there are things that come through, and recording them right away, and really taking time to do this, even if it's 10 minutes, and then you build your practice. And we'll talk about that. Meditation is not a mental exercise. It's where you make a connection in the heart. And you send the energy outward into the room. And so we'll get into that, okay? Because I really want you to understand that when you send that energy out to the room, that's when you're starting to blend with spirit, and you invite spirit in, and you send them love, and all of a sudden you'll feel the love and gratitude coming back to you, and you start to build this symbiotic relationship with them. And so I put a meditation out there that's a 12-minute meditation that kind of does that, okay? And I want you to feel the energy. So as you send it out, I want you to feel it coming back. And that's kind of like universal and spiritual law, right? When we send something out, it's the law of attraction that we receive it back. So if you send out gratitude, you're going to feel the gratitude come back. And working with that, and then starting to blend with spirit and allow them into your energy field. And so that's something that we'll do a little bit of, okay? All right, so really quick, what is mediumship? I think you guys all have this, but really it is the evidence of two clients that have loved ones that have passed over. Sorry, I gotta change that PowerPoint, and the purpose that to show evidence that there's actually life after death. Really there is no death. And meditation is the key to build the power to match the vibration of the spirit world. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. And you do develop your mediumship through the practice with a development circle. You learn how spirit speaks to you. You all have your own unique language, which we're going to talk about. We're going to find out what your unique language is. And then mediumship is done from the heart with love. And so it's really about that love vibration that we really need to connect with. And with that, healing, guidance, upliftment, and reassurance comes to our sitters, okay? So here's some foundational elements of mediumship. Really, it's about energy, frequency, and vibration. Our connection to spirit is in the heart. We start to build relationship with our guides. We teach our guides and our spirit team how we want to work, having strong boundaries, developing discernment and ethics, and really self-development, making room for our gifts. So as we start to release things that no longer serve us, from, you know, if there's forgiveness that are needed in parts of our lives, and where we forgive ourselves for certain things, or we release fear, or, you know, we release these traumas that were very traumatic, and we might have post-traumatic stress disorder from things. As we start to really integrate that and allow that to fall away, we're making more room for our gifts. And so I really want to encourage you in self-development, and spirit can help you with that through meditation. Non-cognitive therapy is really wonderful for that. And then with the foundational elements, evidence is very important in communicating with spirit. And it does demonstrate life after death. But it can also, when evidence comes through and you have a sitter there who is coming for a reading, it can be both healing, not only for the spirit communicator, but also the sitter as well. The sitter is your client that comes to you, or if in the audience, it's a recipient. And spirit always provides guidance, healing, reassurance, and upliftment. And they always empower. They never tell you what to do. They never take away your free will. And so they're very supportive and kind. And they also will help us, make us aware of our true spiritual nature, the essence of our spirit. They love us so much, and that the spiritual process is based on love. So just to let you know that. I'm going the wrong direction. So here's some terminology really quick for you guys on psychic mediumship. A sitter is a client that comes to a psychic medium for a reading. That's called the sitter. The recipient is a sitter in the audience when a medium is doing a mediumship demonstration, either on platform in the spiritualist church, or they call them gallery reads when you're actually in front of an audience. And then the spirit communicator is the loved one that is coming through from the spirit world that is trying to communicate with the sitter. And the psychic medium is a translator of the information by the spirit who's coming in. So you're basically like a language interpreter. But what's happening during that time is that there is an energy that is built up of love, and your sitter can feel that. And it's very obvious when someone sheds a tear, that spirit is touching them. They're touching their heart, and the healing is coming through, and it's very beautiful. And then the evidence, and the purpose of the evidence, is the pieces and types of information that is meaningful to the sitter, and it's very personal in nature. And then when we get into the spirit guides, there is, we'll get into the structure of the guides in a moment, but as a medium, you have someone who is a gatekeeper. This is really your main guide that protects you. And then there's also a runner that goes and gets the sitter's loved one to help find that person to bring them through. And then you'll hear the term of channeling, and this is really direct communication with spirit or loved one, where they can come in and they give a direct message. And channeling is something where it can be from a particular loved one, or it could be an actual just spirit that comes through with a particular message that you allow yourself to blend so much that this message comes through. And then trance is really where you move out of the way of spirit. You get your consciousness and everything out of the way. So spirit takes over and delivers a beautiful message. And trance, actually, Jacqueline and I did that in our class together, and it was an amazing experience. So this is the model of mediumship. So what happens is this: here's a medium on a platform, and you have all the recipients in the audience. And so the difference between like an empath or intuitive is that they're reading the energy of the person, and all the answers really exist in our aura, okay? But a lot of times an empath haven't learned to control it yet. And a psychic might not either, but we have to learn to start to manage that energy. And as you can see here, the medium is up on the podium, okay? And then this person, it has a psychic link. You see this? There's a psychic link to all these people. But what a medium does is also have a mediumship link to the spirit world. And up top is kind of representative of the spirit world. It's all around us, but for the purposes of really understanding this, is that we have to hold both links. And we have to increase our vibration through meditation. That is the energy and the power. And that's what it means by sitting in the power. We are developing our power to increase the energy so we can make the link to the spirit world. Now, so that's kind of how it works. Now, what I've told some people, just to let you know, see this psychic link right here? So when I was first developing, I have to share this with you, and John knows this because he's been in my class. I did not like reading for men. In fact, I hated it. And it made me so uncomfortable because just think about it. We can feel, you can feel everything, right? As a medium or as a psychic and as an empath. And I could feel that men, I could feel their, like John said, their skepticism, or they don't want you getting in their stuff. And so what I would do as a medium to get over that, see this link here? I would actually drop the psychic link and only go to the spirit world, because I was getting messed up by the energy of the people. Okay. All right, Jacqueline, yes.
Yeah, I just want to say something because there's a difference between American and the UK.
Uh-huh.
So this is interesting now. So just food for thought. I want to make sure everyone's mind's open. So yeah, as you're developing, you got your medium link, absolutely, which is spirit all around and connecting by thought, by hearing, by smell, by touch, etc., by sight. And you're also developing your psychic as well. So that be where you can feel into somebody and whatever. Now, what's important for you, the reader, the mediumship, the medium person, is that when you are doing mediumship and when you're doing psychic. So when I was taught I have to know, it's my responsibility to know if I'm giving psychic reading, or I'm giving a mixture of both, or if I'm giving a mediumship. Now, it's okay to do both if you are telling your recipient, okay, so we're going to do a reading today, and if you're saying you're going to doing connecting with spirit and you want to use cards and you're doing psychic and whatever to help you, that's fine. But if you're doing mediumship and you're saying this is mediumship today and we're connecting with spirit, then it's your responsibility to sit there, stay in the power, or stay in the energy, stay in the love, whatever form of terminology you want to use. There's so much terminology, but it's your responsibility to stay in that, sustain it, so that you are actually doing pure mediumship, that connection. And you're not doing then, oh, well, actually now I'm a bit stuck and I'm going to grasp into the psychic, because they don't necessarily know that, but you do. And
Yeah.
in order for you to grow, I would, for those of you who want to, set yourself a goal to say, you know what, this is where I am now, and I know I'm doing the both, and like I say, it's fine. But if your goal is to really work with mediumship and really train that mediumship, then set yourself a goal to say, right, I want to have the discipline, and that's the key word. And the word discipline works with everything Rochelle said, with getting to know your guide, getting to do your meditation, the fact that you're here, you guys are here today, and myself, it's the discipline to going back to the basics, learning again, refreshing new things. It's having that discipline to connect with spirit, to work with other people. So yeah, I would say kind of it's your responsibility to have that discipline. And it was so like I said, in the UK, there are certain things like you have to do, and there's certain terminology you have to use, and there's certain things you cannot say, and we've got probably different laws to you.
Right.
Yeah, I would say it really is ultimately your responsibility to know when you're working psychically and mediumistically, and because they are two very different things. And when you're working with those two different things, the results are very different. The results are extremely different. And personally, when you work mediumistically, that's where all the amazing magic happens, as far as I'm concerned. When you're working mediumistically, I mean, you get incredible stuff and you're blown away. So yeah.
Right. And to that point, Jacqueline, what you're saying, see, what takes to increase the vibration, it's very easy to, when you start to feel your vibration drop, then all of a sudden you want to go to that psychic link because it doesn't take as much. So that's why it's important for meditation to continually be able to build that power to sustain your connection with the spirit world. Now, some of you having NDEs, this might be very easy for you. So it's about raising and increasing the vibration and holding it. And one of the things that happens is that when you get a no, you end up, everybody starts to lose their vibration, and then you get another no, and then all of a sudden you've lost your link. But so we're going to talk about working through the no's as well, so you don't lose that link, because really a no can be just setting yourself up for a wow. It just means that you've got a piece of evidence and you have to work through it to get it right, to interpret it right for the person to understand. Now, the other thing is that sometimes you've worked it and you have to let it go. And then all of a sudden, a week later, they're having an epiphany calling you, oh my gosh, oh my God. You know, it's that type of thing, right? And you're going, I don't remember that. But anyway, it's so we'll talk through working through that. Thank you. So the difference between an empath, an intuitive, and a psychic and a medium is really about, an empath is, it's all the same energy. It's just that an empath hasn't learned to really control it or understand about what's happening. Okay. And so, for example, and this is about working with your energy and calling it back. And you can walk into a room and all of a sudden you're just bombarded with all this energy and you don't know what to do about it. And so it's really about understanding your energy. And we're gonna really get into that, okay? And so it's really understanding the flow of energy. It's understanding how to master your own energy, and utilizing your body as a barometer is key. But it's all about really, what do I want to say, staying in the energy and the flow of you, and not just taking everything on all the time. That's where you're going to get exhausted. And it's about, you can actually put something around you so you're not absorbing other people's energy. You can also allow your energy to come from God's source and go out through you. So then you're not taking other people aren't sucking your energy, that type of thing. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but it's really important to understand the flow of energy. And so we'll do a quick exercise so you can feel your energy and start to learn it. Okay, and then this is really where you have, your body carries, your soul, your spirit actually, and then you connect through your spirit to the spirit world. And what I found for me, and I don't know, is at first I was utilizing my mind a lot. And what I really learned is that there is a place behind the heartbeat that is very, very still. in our hearts. And that's where if you spend time in that area behind the heart and you explore it, you will explore you will see that there's the essence from your spirit, and that's where you connect with source. Yeah, okay. I figured that was going to be a lot of questions. All right, Karen Michelle.
Could you please repeat that? They're behind the heartbeat.
Yeah, so as I close my eyes and I start to focus on my heart and I allow myself to go deeper, there's energy centers within our body, okay? You have the chakra systems, right? And if I go back behind the heartbeat and I start to explore it, I'm going to show this to you in just a moment. There is a toroidal field. And that's where the connection is. That's where I found where the connection is for me. And I actually saw myself, my essence, outside of the toroidal field, just standing there. And when I went into that is where my connection got very strong with spirit.
I have one question, please.
Yeah.
So the way I understood that now, and I work with my chakras, and I've always felt at times that it was my etheric body, the exact duplicate of my physical body, that was standing somewhat outside of me. And I could literally see or feel my etheric body next to me, really close. So sometimes I had felt a little bit, maybe perhaps I'm communicating with the spirit world with my etheric body. Is that something you have heard of?
Yep. And I've done that as well, where I've stepped out of my body. And I do that a lot with loved ones, where I've stepped out of my body and I go for a stroll, like with my mother. Or I get out of my body and I have a chair in front of me. I have two chairs, one for spirit and one for myself, and I'll have that conversation.
Ah, okay, thank you.
Okay, so you guys, when we're talking about energy, frequency, and vibration, okay, the earth, I did some research on this, and the earth is actually at 8.32 hertz, and our body is at 65 hertz. And the spirit world is at 400 hertz and above. And the connection is made through meditation, where we raise our vibration. And so, like Jacqueline says, you know, we're sitting in the power, we're raising that vibration to get it to that next level. And we're building that. And that's what's going to have, that's where the connection is made. Now, the way that spirit speaks to us, we'll get into another time, but I want to make sure that you guys understand this. So we're really raising our vibration, okay? And we're home to the earth, okay? And one of the things that I discovered, and to Silke's point, excuse me, I found myself hanging out in outside of my body a little bit. And what I discovered was that I had to come all the way into my body and really be connected. And the reason is because we still belong to the earth. And so it's very easy for us to hang out in our etheric body. And it's very easy to, especially if we've had trauma, to just hang out like above or whatever. And so if we can come fully into the body and become present with our body, we're going to discover and find that we become fully aligned and become fully present. So that's one of the things that we can practice too, about coming into the body a little bit, okay? Oops. So this is kind of the model of meditation, okay? So what we do is we connect to the earth right through our feet, and we're really grounding ourselves into the feet because we do belong to Mother Earth. And what we're doing is we're sitting in, this is what the UK or they call it sitting in the power, and we're actually meditating and we're building our power and our vibration to connect with spirit. Okay. And as we do this work, spirit starts to unfold and teach us. And as we develop, spirit meets us, okay? And then we start to receive information, and spirit speaks in symbols, pictures, associations, and then we have to decode the information. And once we understand and we put agreements in place. Like for me, I use my body as a barometer, and what I mean by that is I sit there and I really am open. I have my field totally open, and I'm okay with spirit touching me. Okay, and so all of a sudden, I might have a grandmother, and I'm having severe pain in my left hip. Okay. Then I know that this grandmother had a problem with her hip, okay? And once we identify who that is, and I do that because I've made agreements with my guides that it is okay for them to show me this, to utilize my body, to show me what's going on with that spirit, okay? Like Anita, the other day, right? Your son came through, right? And all of a sudden, boom, I mean, my head just, I felt like it exploded. But that was evidence to you that you knew that this was your son coming through, right?
Right, because he died of a brain aneurysm and you did not know that. And that told me, that was confirmation that, yeah.
Yeah. And so, so that's what I want to say. And we have to decode this information. John, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I just had one real quick point. Is that, we're saying symbols, pictures, and association. A lot of, especially beginners and empaths, they get more of just a feeling of the spirit. They won't get the pictures or hear. They're gonna feel more emotion, and and it's a little more. They don't realize that that's actually spirit talking to them. But a lot of them that's how they start.
Right. Sensors and feelers, that's right. Versus getting clairvoyantly these pictures. And so that, and so if that's your dominant clair, then it's a sensing and a feeling thing. And so that's where knowing your own energy, understanding your own energy is really important. You can feel the difference in the energy, or the energy changes, and being able to read that. Or all of a sudden you'll experience an emotion like, oh my God, I feel so joyful. This spirit was really a joyful person, that type of thing. Yeah. Okay, so this is the other thing. See, there's also vibrational matches. And a lot of times you'll hear, I've heard mediums say, well, somebody's stuck in the tunnel because they can't vibrationally match that person. And that's just absolutely crazy. I mean, when you're a beginner medium, your vibration, you have to build your vibration. And so so when you're a beginner medium, you can possibly get strong spirits that are coming through that know how to communicate, and that, and so forth, and they can match your energy very well, and your guides help them with that. And then, but as you build the vibration and so forth, you can then move into, getting even further into guides, connecting with their guides and seeing that. And that energy is different than the people that are closest to the earth, our loved ones and so forth. It's a different feeling. It's a different vibrational feeling. And so as we build and we work through meditation to build this, that's what happens. We start to strengthen our relationship with spirit, where we're getting more information with, guides, ascended masters, things like that. And, doing exercises like one of the exercises that Jacqueline and I did was that we were told that we had to connect with a guide and of this other person that we're reading for. And so that is totally a different feeling than connecting with a loved one. Totally different. And learning how to do that, learning the different feeling of that. So really, see, the higher the frequency, the lower the frequency, right, is where, we have the human beings and the earthbound spirits and departed loved ones. And then, and then there's the fairy realm and the elementals, which, believe me, I did not believe in that realm. And oh my God, was I God-smacked, okay, really bad. And John knows the story. But I wasn't believing in elementals. And all of a sudden, I had an awakening for sure. But then as we increase our vibration and our frequency, we go higher on the spectrum. So the key is, and what I'm trying to drive home here, is how important meditation is, okay? Okay, and so when we're talking about there's a toroidal field, or we're talking about the etheric body, the aura around. See, there is a way, this is the way the aura looks around the body, okay? And what it's doing, it's constantly moving. It's constantly moving. There's a flow. And where you see this are the energy centers in the body, with the roots chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye, and then, up top. And so it's really about moving that energy up and connecting to the spirit world, okay? And as you can see, the toroidal field goes through the heart. And so we can actually go get in that toroidal field. And it's just amazing. You can really explore and experiment with that. Yeah, Karen Michelle.
Hi, I hope it's okay that I'm raising my hand so much.
Yeah.
I've seen this on me. I've seen this on a couple other people that I've known, and I called it the net. I didn't know what the word. I called it.
Are you calling it like the neural net?
I didn't know what it was called, and I didn't know what to do with it, but I liked feeling it. I liked the way it felt, and I called it the purple netting. So
yeah, look up toroidal field.
Toroidal field. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. It's
How are
amazing.
you spelling that, Rochelle?
It's TORODIAL.
Sorry, TRORDIAL.
Here, let me put it in the TORODIAL, toroidal field. Whoops. I was going to put that in the chat.
Yeah.
I think I'm spelling it right.
Okay.
May I mention something real quick? I don't know if this might be helpful to Karen, Michelle, or anyone else, but I read a book by Dr. Sue Morter. Her father, who's passed on, he was a chiropractor, but he studied bioenergetics. And so she continued his work. And she wrote this amazing book that was on the New York Times bestseller list for a couple of years, called The Energy Codes. And this is what she talks about. She has this drawing in her book. Yes, she has all these exercises in the book right here. So all these exercises for how to increase your ability to work with this energy field that we all have. And she teaches 9 or 10 different codes for like tapping into this energy field. And she calls the man, or the human body, the Taurus man, because we have this toroidal field around us constantly. So just throwing that out there as a resource.
Yeah, thank you for that. Hey, Sean, yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to say real quick, I'm loving it, this class, and I love meeting everybody. I have to go to a meeting, but also about the toroidal field. I'm sure maybe of you guys have seen the documentary Thrive that came out around 2012. And now they've made, so if you go look it up, it's the heir to the Procter and Gamble fortune. I can't think of his name, but the documentary is called Thrive. And it's all about the toroidal field and the heart and how it can provide free energy and everything. But anyway, it's really cool. So I just want to,
Okay.
yeah, I'll share a link when I can find it because they have a Thrive 2 now, but it's really beautiful because a lot of this is based on heart math also, you know, and anyway, I just wanted to say you're doing wonderful. I love it. I actually hate leaving, but I have to go to a board meeting. So I'll see you.
Okay. All right, Sean, thank you. God bless.
See y'all later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
And, you know, I just started working with this, you guys. So, you know, as we start to develop, like a lot of the stuff I didn't understand, and I certainly didn't have to understand it when it came to mediumship, but a whole new level opened up to me about the toroidal field and really understanding it and see how it goes through the heart. I mean, we can actually go to like, the multiverse within this. And it's just amazing. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So that's why I'm bringing this up, because see what happens too, as we meditate, like our aura is like 6 feet in width. And I'm just going to say, isn't that interesting? Okay.
Yeah.
Because and then as we expand it, it goes even further. As we start to meditate, we build that out, okay, to allow more in. And the thing is that in this is a Rochelleism. There are keys and codes in our aura that when we become in contact with other people, they receive keys and codes, and when they're ready, they open up. Okay. And I even have a theory about that for even our immune system. Okay. They talk about herd immunity. And I wondered if that's part of the herd immunity, is this toroidal field that we come in contact with. That's just a contemplation thought. I don't know the answer to that, but I wonder. Okay. So just food for thought there, that we get things from others when we come into contact, and when they're ready, they open up for us. Any questions? I know I'm kind of going through this a little bit slow. I plan to go through this faster, but okay. So, all right. So this is the thing that we're going to talk about is really, they know that, you know, the left brain and right brain, it kind of integrates and so forth, but this is a wonderful demonstration of how we can think about things for as a demonstration of logical thought versus right, you know, left brain versus right brain, because left brain is our intellectual thought, our logic, math and science. It's, you know, the critical thinking that we have, and really the right brain is more for creativity and imagination. And spirit will drop things in our mind through our creativity, through our imagination, and we think it's just our imagination and we made it up, and it's not the case at all. Spirit drops it in there. So that's the key, where we have to start listening to our imagination, because all of a sudden we have this thought, and that's how it gets dropped in, ever so subtly, and it can be very fast, and that is spirit. And so we have to train ourselves to grab onto those things. And even when we're doing creative things, that's when things can come through. It's really beautiful. And so these thoughts about unworthiness and anxiety and self-worth and self-limiting beliefs can really stop the flow of spirit. That's really ego. That's not the essence of our spirit. The essence of our spirit is perfect. It's loving. It's kind. It's patient. It's all these things that we think, all these wonderful qualities that are God-like, they're within all of us. And it's so with that, what I wanted to show you is this. Okay, when we're born, in the middle, we have the true essence of our spirit. It's our spirit, and we experience the separation from the oneness of God when we are born. And what happens is that when we are born, we are so open that we have, our parents imprint on us and our grandparents imprint on us, and then we go to school, and then we're socialized, and then we start having life stories and trauma, and then we're socialized to act a certain way and do certain things, and then we start to form our identity and our morals and our ethics and our values, and then all of a sudden, we have that identity that is very necessary as we live on this earth, right? But then there's also ego, where we don't feel good enough, or that we have things, limiting self-talk and limiting self-beliefs that imprint and keeps our true essence protected. But somehow, in some way, we need to peel all this away when we are doing spirit work and go to the true essence of our spirit, because that's where the connection lies. And each and every one of you is perfect, and you are so loved by spirit. They don't care what you have done or what you haven't done. They love you for the being that you are. They have so much respect for us that we have come down to this earthly planet to have this experience in polarity, and the land of free will, and that we have to learn to navigate all this stuff and learn these lessons while we're on this earth, and trying to get through it. And they have so much respect for us to do that, and we don't know what's going to happen, and all of that, and it's amazing. And so if you can just fully embrace and feel how spirit loves all of us, just make that a goal for now when you're in meditation, and feel that. And it can move you to tears, that it can be so beautiful. Does anybody have any comments about that? All right. Okay. So I had a friend make these drawings for me. So, when we want to like really get to the perfect essence within ourselves and not bring all our earthly things to spirit, we come to spirit in a calm and loving manner. A lot of times when we're worried, we're having an emotional experience where when we try to take that to spirit, they really can't respond to it, or we're so clouded by our experience, or we're in our humanness, that we really can't hear spirit. So the key is really, really trying to calm ourselves down, get to the essence of our spirit, and make that connection. Okay, really make that from a love perspective. So this is kind of the flow of the energy. It's a spiral that goes around our body. This really represents the energy centers in the body, from our root chakra and all the way up to the crown chakra. And these are really energy centers within the body. And when we talk about different things that occur in our lives, or emotional responses that we've had, it can get trapped in the aura, in our etheric body. And that's what can possibly cause diseases. And so it's really about working with the etheric body, moving this energy around. A lot of people love Tai Chi and Qigong because it moves the energy out of our etheric body. We're moving it. We're allowing it to move and spiral around us, upward and downward, and so forth. And so it's really amazing, and it's done through meditation. Okay, we talked about that. Okay, I think we're kind of at the end. The one thing, because I want to do an exercise really quick. Does everybody still have time? really quick, okay, anybody who doesn't have time?
I've got a bit of time, but I'm 6 hours ahead of you, so I might, so it's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vanessa, you have your, okay, you're good. Okay, I'll just take it really quick. And then what I'm going to do, Jacqueline, if you have to leave, I just want to do an exercise where we're just running the energy so people can start to feel their energy. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then, so this really is what I want to say is, kind of the construct of our guide. So you have you, right? And then there's a protector guide. You have specialty guides. So you have a healer and a teacher, and then a specialty guides that are coming in and out based on like certain life experiences that you're experiencing right now. Like you might have a health concern. So all of a sudden you might have a specialty guide that was a specialist in that area when he was here, and he's coming to work on you and help you through that health crisis or whatever. So we do have a team. And then above all this is the ascended and universal masters, but the protector guide is really important. This is the one that you want to establish your relationship in. And actually it's biblical. If you look up Psalm 91:11, it talks about an angel that has been assigned to you for all of your days. And this is the one that you want to really get to know. And, you know, if you need the stories behind it with them, that's okay. It really doesn't matter, but this is where you set up all your boundaries, all your agreements, is really thinking about that, how you want to work, staying in the love vibration. And this is a Rochelleism too. Okay. My aunt taught me this. Okay. Everybody prays for protection, and they say, okay, I'm going to get a lot of people riled up here. They pray for protection or they say, I need to protect myself. And what I say is this, we have a protector guide that's protecting us, right? And so if we trust our guides and we trust ourselves, why do we need protection? That's what I, you know, if protection is in fear, and if we need to stay in the love vibration, like attract like, right? And so we're already protected. And so I just want to throw that out there, that if you've set up your agreements with your guides, then you can feel protected, and then you can feel comfortable that you are protected. Okay. And know that your guides are only going to allow things that are going to teach you and help you become better and more effective and hone things in for you. Now, I don't know if you feel that way, if you still feel you need protection and that to do that, and it makes you feel comfortable. I just feel that we have a protector guide, and I trust him so much that I just don't feel like that's necessary, because I want to stay in the love vibration. Now, I don't know how you guys feel. It's okay if you disagree with me. I'm open, and you've got to work with what you're comfortable with. Yeah, Karen Michelle.
I've had this one of the same, I'll say guides. I didn't know how to refer to him when I was little, but I've always called him the guardian of the gate. And that's been since I was a toddler, and I still see sometimes in my mind's eye, and sometimes I see it, and that's still what I call him. But this gives a different perspective, but that's my belief. And a lot of times when I'm asked, and I still ask for protection, or I ask for assistance, or I talk about what I'm going through. But when I do say a prayer, or I'm asking for something, I always say a blessing back. I don't know why or when I started doing that, but I always say a blessing back to them. I just instinctively have done that. I don't know if that's okay or not, but that's what I do.
Yeah, sure it is. I mean, it's okay to ask for that. They are protecting you. You know, just know that. But I guess what I'm saying is that people say, I've got to protect myself. And it's like, do you really? You know, I get, because you're not alone. you're not alone but you have to do what you feel is right, and if that gives you the sense of security to continue to work, then I want you to do it. I don't want to take something away that doesn't feel right to you. And
Yes.
John, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was wondering, do you say a prayer back? As in, I always say a prayer back afterwards.
Yeah. So when I open the door to spirit, I say a prayer, and what I say is I give thanks for all the blessing that we receive, both seen and unseen. So I figured that covers it. But yeah, it's okay. I always, and then I close it out with a prayer as well. So yeah. But yeah, that's wonderful. I think that prayer is perfect. John, you had your hand raised?
Yeah, I just wanted to add real quick that a lot of it too that's important, and I think you'll agree, is the intent when you're working with spirit.
Yes.
Which is why we say a prayer. I say a prayer, especially before readings, to set the intent for the reading.
Yes.
Because it's where we're coming from. And that to me is very important.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And so when I say, I give thanks for all the blessings, both seen and unseen, that's probably protection as well. And they know that I trust them to protect me, Let's see, Jason, you had your hand up and then you took it down.
Yeah, I did. I forgot what I was going to say. I forgot what I was going to say. You can go on to somebody else. Thank you, though.
Okay. All right. If you think about it, just raise your hand. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing. And I just thought we could do a quick exercise really quick. And so what I want to do is kind of just go through taking a moment where we go into meditation and we're going to run the energy. I want you to feel the energy. It's kind of like playing with your own energy and get the feel of it. If that's okay, we won't take that long because I know you guys, it's over the time. And then, so what I'd like you to do, I'm just going to lead you through the meditation. Okay. So everybody just close their eyes and have your feet on the floor. And and have your palms up, just be really open and relaxed. And then just start with the breath, okay? I just want you to inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now, what I want you to do is imagine your feet really being grounded into the earth. And however you feel comfortable doing that, whether it's roots growing out of your feet, going into Mother Earth with a white light. And if you have done this before and you want to connect to the crystal core of Mother Earth, that's fine. And then bringing it all the way back up. And then as you start to breathe, I want you to start to breathe, inhale up this white light through your body, all the way up through your calves and your shins. Another deep breath. Inhale through the thighs, all the way up to the lower spine. And exhale. And see if there's anything that needs to be released as you're doing this, like if there's any tightness or tension. Just spend a moment and put that white light there. If you're having just a little bit of discomfort, take the moment and keep that white light there. And continue to inhale and bring it all the way up through your body cavity, through your spine. And then down your arms. And then up through the chest area, through the throat area, that white light. And exhale. And then inhale up through your third eye. If you have a furrowed brow, just relax that. Up through the crown of your head. And exhale. Now this time I want you to go all the way up and imagine a beam of light going all the way up and connecting to God's source. And hold that connection. And now on the next inhale, drop it into your heart and send it out into the room. Now, as you send it out into the room, send out love from your heart out into the room. And feel the love coming back to you from Spirit. Express gratitude from your heart. And feel gratitude expressed back to you from Spirit. Now, what I'd like you to do is from the top of your head all the way down to the soles of your feet, I want you to imagine energy running down like a waterfall, running down your body, and then bringing it up again. And keep running it up and down. And then you can allow it to cascade over your back, run it up and down your body. Feel that energy cascading over your body. And now take it around your body and swirl it all the way up as a spiral, all the way up your body. Feel it going. If this is just intention, feel it. And you are doing this. And then all the way back down in a spiral. This is your energy. Run that all the way up in a spiral. And run it back down. Now what I want you to do is send it back out into the room to connect with everyone here. Connect to their love vibration. And we are all connected as a group, as one. And let's form a circle. Oh, that was really nice. Oh my goodness, I'm feeling that. Oh, that's so beautiful. And let's form a circle and hold hands. And now we're going to run the energy to the right. And it's going to go around the circle. Keep running it. Very good. And now I want you to change direction and send it to the left. Oh, wow, that's wonderful, you guys. Oh my goodness. Wow. Very good. Very good. Now, pull your energy back to yourself and allow it to run over your body again like a spiral and run it back down again. All right. And just take a moment and sit with this. Great work, everyone. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and wiggle your fingers and toes. Wow. Whew. How was that, you guys? Wow, you guys are powerful. Wow. See, so when you send it out, see what being empathic, see, you can control your energy, right? And so you send it out, but people are, sending their intensity, and it's like, no, this, all of a sudden you might walk into a room or you're with your boss or a coworker, and all of a sudden you're feeling insecure, but it doesn't belong to you, it belongs to them. So send it back to them with healing and keep your energy intact. Okay. So that's one thing. Now, the other thing is that you can take this to the next level as you're doing that and invite your guide in and start to have a conversation with them. Okay. And start to think about the boundaries that you want to set. And the other thing too, if everybody could get like a journal, like just something, if you go to the Dollar Tree or whatever, because we're going to need it for working with symbols and setting that up with our guides as well. Also for journaling. And then think about how you want to work. Like, and you want to stay kind of in the highest vibration, like, and just because a lower vibrational entity comes into your space, you can send it away, but send it away with healing. Don't just send it away to bother the neighbors. Send it away with healing, or if they're ready to go to the other side, you can. One of the things that I always do is I get them to think about love. There's always something in their life that they loved, whether it was a mother or a cat or a dog. And usually when they start thinking about love, a light opens up above their head. And then I talk them and say, why do you want to be here? It's so beautiful up there and loving and kind. And so, because there are spirits that are earthbound that get confused. And so just helping them to the light is a wonderful. And if they don't want to go to the light, then you send them away with healing. Okay. All right. Any questions as we wrap up? Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Jacqueline.
I'm going to go, but I'm just going to say, as you're talking, there's so much more to unravel. So I think after the 6-week course, you need to do another course on other things. So much more to unravel here. And yeah. I've got questions, and you might be the actual woman that finally might answer some things for me that nobody else seems to. So we can offline another time, but I'm going to go, guys. Thank you so much.
Jacqueline, thank you.
Okay, big kisses.
Yeah, love you.
Hugs,
thank
everything.
you. Bye. Bye. Bless her heart. Oh my goodness. Joe, you had a question.
Yes. Could you just embellish on that just a little bit more? Like last night I had that experience and they were coming towards me and then they froze. It was like a movie that just stopped because I didn't know what to do and I got scared and then they went away. They looked very, very confused. And I didn't, like you just said, to send them away with a blessing, but how do you guide them somewhere?
Well, okay, so the thing is that the way that I feel is that they were entities that were, they could have been confused, but they're also at a higher vibration because as soon as you got afraid, they disappeared.
Yeah.
You went to the fear versus the love. Okay.
I get that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have these tools, right? I'm getting tools now.
Right.
Yeah.
So if they come to you and they're confused, they might, sometimes when a spirit has a trauma, they get confused and they don't know what to do. They don't, and so they're looking for help.
Mhm.
And so they just need to know what to do. And they even could be confused about a timeline. Like I helped this guy over that was, he thought it was 1976 and he was looking for his dog. And what happened was when we started talking and I took him to the love vibration, all of a sudden his dog came through to take him.
Okay.
And the dog helped him through. So it's like, you are in spirit and it's time to go home. And it's so beautiful up there. And then when you start getting them to think about love, all of a sudden that opens up and then they can go. And actually there was this guy that was murdered and he had been stuck and he was confused, he was mad and angry and all that. And I started talking to him. I said, what is it that you loved in your lifetime? And he said, my mother. And I felt it. I felt the softness. And I talked to him to go to the light. And when I did, he started to go and then he came back down. I went, oh my God, he's not going to go. He came back down and he thanked me and then went back up.
That's cool. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So try to stay in the love vibration. Don't go to
Yeah.
fear, because when you go to fear, they will disappear.
Okay.
Okay. Because they don't want you to be afraid. Yeah.
I knew that, but and yeah, but I was.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is the other thing too, with love, even if we're in a heated argument with someone or somebody is pressing a button within us and we get triggered, we can actually we can like take a breath and go to love in the heart and just let it work out and go to neutral. Don't react, go to neutral and just allow it. I say, not my circus, not my monkeys. And I just let them, whatever, and not allow myself to get triggered. So that's from a human perspective. But John, you were going to say something? No? I thought you had something to say when he talked about the spirits coming in.
The only thing, because those were human spirits, the only ones that are any different are the non-human spirits.
Yeah.
Because they don't always do exactly like we would think they would,
Right. But you still have dominion over all that.
Yeah, and you still have to, that's why I said, intent was so important, because then you don't have that much problem.
Right.
With
And
that.
John actually had an old man playing with his tools in his garage. And I went over there and his wife came over. His wife came in to take him. But there was also a really mad elemental in his garage as well. And that was my experience with an elemental. And that was a whole different story. That's where I learned about elementals. So and we can talk about that later. But remember, all of this you have dominion over. So I want you to stay in the love vibration when you're working with all of this. That's the key to all of this, not to get afraid and never send something away, just sending them away. You send them away with healing. Always. Yeah. Jason, did you have a comment? I felt like you had a comment. No? No.
I mean, just what you're saying, it is about the love with the NDE. That's all that matters. It's what we're created out of is love. And while we're here, if I reach that level, you have to send them away with love and healing, because that's how, the universe grows, is through our love.
And the work that we are doing, everybody, the work that we are doing is uplifting humanity forever. Everything that you're doing contributes to the collective. So I want to applaud you in taking this step because it's so beautiful.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll send an email on what we're going to be working on next time. I do have the agenda out there, but I might make some changes to it because I was kind of writing it like a marketing sales copy and it just doesn't feel right to me. So I got to relook at that. Okay. It's got to be spiritual content, right? So any final comments, Karen Michelle? I know that you've contributed so much. Thank you for that. Do you have any final words or thoughts that we need to focus on? Just curious.
I thank you so much. I had some trouble getting on, and so I wanted to apologize for being late, but thank you so much. This is a wonderful experience, and I love the not my circus, not my monkeys.
Isn't that wonderful? When I figured that out, it was so freeing. Yeah, I just take a breath and I go to love and I say, not my circus, not my monkeys, and I let them do their thing, and then I'm not a part of it. I just, and I can stay in the love vibration. It's so cool.
I guess after whatever happened with, with the, not whatever happened, but just after, I guess that whatever multiple NDEs or just growing up like that, and the interactions, I didn't grow up being afraid of what I saw. I grew up being afraid of people's reactions.
Yes,
And
totally get it.
And so that's more of what I'm wanting to deal with, even here, and even as late as, because I signed up so late, I was still struggling with the judgments, and everywhere I looked, I kept getting signs, medium, go, heart space, and so I'm finally okay. I'm signing up. I'm signing up.
That's wonderful. Well, let's talk about that for just a minute, because that's really good. Okay. What and we're talking about self-development and the whole judgment thing. So one of the things that I had to learn was that it's a free country and everybody has a right to their opinion, right? And they don't have to agree with me, but I'm not responsible for the way somebody reacts. Okay. I'm not responsible. And so, not that I'm not going to be unkind in any way, but I'm not going to take on the responsibility of how they react. They own that. I don't. If they decide to blow up, that's their stuff, not mine. So I let them blow up, but I don't try to fix it. Right?
No.
They have the right to blow up. It's a free country, but I don't have to engage in it.
That's right. That's right.
So allow them, and they're just reacting to either somebody's either poking at a wound, they're poking at a wound, or there's something where they're upset and mad. I don't have to fix it. No way. I'm not responsible for how they react.
Not my circus. Not my monkeys.
Yeah, that's right. Not my circus, not my monkeys.
Here or there.
Right, exactly. So just know that. So, when you get to that place, it's extremely freeing. And you don't worry about judgment, and you go to neutral and you allow. Yeah.
Just to add to that, I notice when people get triggered when they see that someone is connected because they feel so separate from, you know what I'm saying? And it triggers them.
Yeah. And we all have things that trigger us. We have wounds that trigger us. And that's why it's important to work on those wounds, to release them so we don't get triggered anymore. And we just, put the love vibration in it. So I hope this has been helpful. I will put an email out to you guys to kind of let you know what we're going to do next week. This has been wonderful. I will put this recording on underneath the class material. And then just know, what do I want to say? Okay, you guys can change the settings to the playback settings. So you can go like to 1.5 times or 1.25 times, and it will speed it up. So just to let you know, because a lot of times there might be gaps or whatever, and you can get through it quicker. So just like a little trick or tip there.